right, we return. I've got the stain. I've got some 600 grit sandpaper. Just the stuff that I used for sanding the neck, and so it's got a little. It's already coloured with the same sort of colours I'll be getting off. So I'm going to just go very gently along the edge here, just try and remove that ridge that we've got, hopefully not remove too much. So I'm barely going to apply any pressure, just keep it kind of in line with the wood, and see that I can thin it down. Let's go down, taking some material off. I'm just going to angle it a little bit more to the 45 degrees to each corner now, just to try and that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So there's a few places where the lacquer has thinned. That's okay, so we'll just try the same thing. But they're going to be just the touch-up spots where I just grab a dab of something and just help it out. That one's quite rough in the middle there, at the edge here, so just going to drag it down this way. A little bit dark there at that corner as well. I'm going to try and temper this, and it is going to try and remove the paint. There's a little bit there that's blobbed down a bit. Or I can take it from this side just to catch it without removing all the stain. Just a bit thick underneath, it's quite black underneath rather than on top, so I can always put a little bit more stain on there, just blend that in. I'm going to get that. Okay, I've got it from this one side, I just need to catch it in the middle. It must not be even. There we go. And that's got the worst of it, so I'll yeah, so I can just put a bit more stain on there and then just blend it. There's quite a dark patch here which I'm hoping I can kind of lift up and just smoosh around a bit. They're the technical term, smooshing it around. Right, okay, let's go to the end here. So yeah, this is all yeah, just barely touching it, rounding off the corners, just finding those ridges. And then this is, yeah, this is just going to need, we need to see what we can do here with this end. The good thing about it being isolated on an end, on the sides, is that I could actually probably just sand the sides off. I imagine I'd be able to just sand the sides off and just reapply the stain to the sides. We'll see how much of that moves around. Yeah, we'll see how much of this moves around when I wet everything again, when everything is damp, and see whether it does what we need it to do. Let's just run along this edge. But there we go. So we've learned one thing from all this, as well as the wet sanding is, you know, kind of nice. Nice relaxing procedure. It's not a good idea to wet sand if you still need to lacquer the stain. maybe with a nitrocellulose stain or some solvent-based stain, you'd have been all right and you wouldn't have had this happen. But with this, clearly not the right way around to do it. So that's good. We'll try and make the best of it we can. So I can actually see the ridge on this side, so I can see when I've got it. And hopefully I don't go too far. Let's just roll over the edge there, very gently. Oh, that scared me a bit. That was a bit of the colour from something else coming off there. Thought I'd sanded through. A bit of dust. So yeah, just gently down this side. I'm not applying too much pressure. I'm just trying to gently. I'd rather take longer over this than it scuff instantly. So they feel much better now. And you can hear the difference. I don't know whether you'll pick it up on the video. And the mic is quite close, it's just under my chin here, but whether you'll hear the difference between sanding the paint and sanding the wood and the stain. So yeah, I've got a couple of places where it's just lightened off a bit around the corners. That's okay, hopefully we can just blend those in. Right, so that now feels much better to the touch. I don't think I've not completely smashed up the lacquer around the edge. So it's now a case of trying to just blend in these sections. So for that, it will be gloves on. And so I'm going to go with the last stain that I used. What I might try doing is just putting a tiny dash of water on first and see whether I can move. Because the stain lifted with a little bit of water from the wet sanding, and there's a possibility that it'll just lift up and move around with a tiny dash of water. Remember, I won't apply it directly. I'll put it onto a wet bit of t-shirt. And I'm taking ages to do these gloves because I really don't like the idea of throwing them away after one use, and they are extremely easy to put on with the powder in them when you start, and then it takes ages to put them on. This one is all falling apart as well. I'm a cheapskate, but also I don't like the idea of just chucking these gloves away as soon as they've been used. I do try and reuse them, but it does mean they take ages and ages to put on. Right. Look at it, it's falling apart. The planet is slightly happier, I'm sure of it. So, right, I got a couple of bits of rag. I'm just going to spray a little tiny bit. I'm not going to use the stain yet. I'm just going to spray a little tiny bit of water on this and see what happens if we just move it around. Let's go to one of the sides. I've got to be really careful with touching this with wet hands as well. So let's find one of the corners where it lifted. Get you in the movie. Find the bit that I just wet, and I'll just try moving it around. So it's definitely diluting. Are we going to be able to do what we need to do? I think we might manage this. I think that's leveling up. The whole thing looks a bit lighter though. Is that a problem? Maybe, maybe not. So see that's now lighter. Does it blend? Yeah, it looks okay. It looks okay. So for this one here, that one looks okay now. I think that's passable. For this one here, you can see the stain is run there. But what I've found when I've been doing it is that I've built up a kind of dark patch here. So what I'm going to do is try and steal some stain from here and move it across. So I'm going to just rub some stain with wet stain across here and bring it across to here. And hopefully I'll have the dual effect of lightening that bit up whilst also darkening that bit down. That's the theory. That's the theory. What's going to happen in practice? Who knows? Who knows? So I'll try this hand. Where was I? I was working on this bit, wasn't I? Just going to try and lift the stain up here and then blend it in over here. So it kills two birds with one stone. Or it's just going to lift up and sit on the t-shirt. But we'll see, so there we go. See if I can just get that. Yes, I think that bit might be a bit obvious there. I mean, it's smoothed out nicely, but does it look obvious? It does look obvious that it's clearly lighter. So you might just have to go with a very gentle bit of the stain. Well, let's see where we end up once we've smoothed all of these out. A couple of areas where it's dark, so let's grab. I hope that's the right sort of description of it. It's kind of grabbing the stain and moving it around, so lifting it off of here and then hopefully dumping it in another area. That's how I see it as being, whether it's actually the... that's what's actually happening, I don't know. So yeah, I can just see, do with a little dark spot there. So yeah, I think it's going to need just a tiny bit more stain just to darken up these lighter spots. Let's go for this top of the headstock now. There's quite a large amount of black there that I didn't spot before in the sanding. I think this might have to be attacked, and this may end up lightening the stain too much. I'll try and localise it to this one area, this one spot of black. Whether it's stained the wood as well. It may have stained the wood. Let me just bring this over here. Sorry, I just had a movie while I held this to the light. It may have stained too deep for us to rectify this. We're getting over this. Just lightening up a bit. So it's just a kind of it looks like a run where just the black paint has just run over the edge slightly. It's probably best if I try and even this up. So anyway, let's just get another bit clean rag for that clean up. Let's get some damp rag up. See how that's going to end up. Let's certainly caught it a little bit. Let's just... I don't know how deep you have to go to try and remove the black paint, or at least fade it enough that you're not going to realise it's there. I mean, you're not going to see it anyway, are you? Everyone's going to go, oh look, oh my goodness. As you're playing the guitar, they're going to go, oh goodness gracious me, look at that. That's terrible. How are we looking? What do we think? It's definitely lighter now. That's going to need some more stain because I have taken quite a lot off that. That is much lighter than the rest of it. Okay, so let's have a little think and a look and see. Another bit just over here that's gone. Right, yeah, I think we need to bring the stain out now. Probably only tiny amounts. We don't want to do too much with it. But yeah, I think it just needs to come out in just a few areas where we just need to tidy it up slightly. And it'll help with you not noticing the colour now. It's whether using the stain ends up going too far the other way. Oh, did I manage to close this? Crikey, that's sealed tight. Move the rubber gloves on as well. Should be easily able to open this. Come on. The problem I'm going to have is I'm going to throw it everywhere when I do, aren't I? Come on. Give me big, strong, burly man. There we go. Right, let's just watch what happened there. There we go. Didn't manage to throw it too far. That's good. Okay, right, good. Let's find me a bit of rag. Right, here we go. So just applying a tiny, tiny dip of stain to the part where it needs just darkening up again. Is that working? I wonder. We're just going to end up restaining the whole thing. Who knows? That's why I do like staining. It's just kind of, I don't know, you set out with one thing in mind and then you end up doing a completely different thing because the stain goes one way. You didn't want it to go that way, but then it kind of surprises you and you like it and you change your mind because you don't want to fight the stain. I mean, the main thing for me is just that it blends. I'm really happy with the neck colour, so I just need to get this headstock back, blending with the neck. Nothing too drastic. Needs to change with it. It just needs to not look out of place. I just go over the edge there, I did, didn't I? That's good. Wipe that off. So there's a little drop there. Take some out of the lid. There's a little spot there that's just a bit darker on one side. Here's where the paint ran. That's a shame. That's a shame. Anyway, I think that passes back as being the right colour. And so we've removed most of those. You can see that spot there is not quite right, but the rest of the neck, as you kind of look at it, you're not going to go, oh goodness, that's a different colour. So yeah, I don't know what to do with that bit. I wonder whether I could bring one of those things where you just kind of, you want, and it might just be dark. I wonder whether I can go with the sandpaper again and just sand that dark section off. The good thing is I'm working entirely on a single face here, so blending is much easier because I mean it's already kind of darkened up around the edges where the stain absorbs differently. So it's not the end of the world if I just sand it all back and go again. So I'm just going to steal the view for a minute. I just want to get up close. I think I need to be even with it. Because whether that dark patch might just be where the paint has absorbed in to the wood, and it's just going to be too hard to get out completely. But let's see. Let's dig for a little bit and see where we end up. So we can just thin it off enough. Just got to be careful not to go too far. Catch one of the sides or the top or something. Because this is 600 grit that I'm using, so it could probably do quite damage to my nice 2000 grit finish on the top there. Okay. Right, well that certainly looks a bit paler now, so let's give that a wipe. And just apply the stain again. Steal some from the lid again. Just hopefully it sort of doesn't show up quite as much as it did. Yeah, it's showing up a little bit, but it's not so bad. Compared to the mess it was before, Just dab that in. Yeah, there's a little bit of unevenness there. But the bits of the wood are uneven anyway. You know, it's not all been fantastic and perfect, and there's blotches and things, aren't there? It's wood. Right, okay. I think, just give that a rub. I think we're looking better there. Not ideal. Battery's running out. So I think we are, yeah, I think we've fixed the problem that we had, which was that we had the runs down the side when the water had, from the wet sanding. I'm going to leave it there. I don't know how long battery I've got, so there we go. See you soon. I didn't know that way then, no, there we go. See you in a bit.